Everything we thought we knew about this Saturday night football matchup just changed in a heartbeat. The Bears have made a controversial roster move. We officially missed out on a massive defensive superstar to a playoff rival, and the Green Bay Packers are suddenly falling apart at the seams with 3 key starters likely out. If you want to know how Chicago can use this chaos to punch their ticket to the playoffs, you need to listen to every word of this video. What is going on, Bears fans? We are counting down the hours to one of the biggest games of the last decade. It is Saturday Night Football. It is Soldier Field. It is the Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. And let me tell you, the script for this game is flipping right before our eyes. We have a lot to get through today. Ryan Poles is making last-minute adjustments to the roster that some of you might not like. We have a frustrating update on the pass rush market that feels like a punch to the gut. But the biggest story? The injury report coming out of Green Bay is an absolute disaster for them, and it hands Chicago a golden opportunity on a silver platter. I am going to break down exactly how we exploit these injuries, what the new roster moves mean for our depth, and why, despite the frustration, we are in the driver's seat. But before we dive into the madness, do me a huge favor. If you are ready to see the Bears finally put the Packers in the dirt this Saturday, smash that like button. Let's set a record before kickoff. And if you want to stay ahead of every breaking story, make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications. We are building the strongest community in the NFL right here, and I want you to be a part of it. Let's start with the immediate news. Ryan Poles has been active, churning the bottom of the roster to find the perfect formula for this playoff push. And just ahead of this massive rivalry game, the Bears have officially released veteran linebacker Jalen Reeves-Mabin. Now, I know the casual fan might shrug this off. They'll say, "He's just a special teamer, who cares?" But real football heads know this is a significant loss for the locker room. Reeves-Mabin wasn't just a body on the depth chart. He was a former special teams Pro Bowler, a captain during his time in Detroit, and a guy who brought serious veteran stability when our linebacker room was in crisis mode. Think back to just a few weeks ago. We were in a dark place. Tremaine Edmunds was banged up. T.J. Edwards was hurting. Noah Sewell was out. We were scraping the bottom of the barrel, and Reeves-Mabin stepped in and did his job professionally. He's 30 years old, he's seen it all, and he brought that professional mindset that a young team desperately needs. He was a key part of the Lions' resurgence before coming here, and he had a stint with the Texans. He knows what winning culture looks like. I personally wasn't a fan of this move. I think having a guy like that, someone who can mentor the rookies and stabilize the special teams unit, is invaluable in December football. It reminds me a lot of the mentorship roles we've seen from other vets across the league. You need those guys when the pressure ramps up. However, I get the logic. With Tremaine Edmunds trending towards being fully healthy for Saturday, the team needed that roster spot for other positions. It's a numbers game. But we should all tip our caps to Jalen. He came in, he did the work, and we wish him nothing but the best. But it does make you wonder, doesn't it? Are we cutting experienced leaders too soon, just to save a few bucks or a roster spot, right when the pressure is at its highest? Now, let's pivot to the news that really has me heated. The pass rush. We all know the defensive line has been the heartbeat of this team, but we've been looking for that one extra piece to put us over the top. We made a trade at the deadline, sending a draft pick to the Cleveland Browns for the veteran edge rusher, Joe. We had high hopes. We thought he could come in, be a mentor, and maybe flash some of that old ability. To be honest, it hasn't worked. He's currently listed as questionable on the injury report, and even when he has been on the field, the impact just hasn't been there. We aren't seeing the pressures. We aren't seeing the sacks. It feels like we gave up a trade asset for a guy who is becoming a non-factor, while we rely heavily on Montez Sweat to do everything himself. And that stings even more because of what happened today. Matthew Judon, the 4-time Pro Bowler, the guy with over 70 career sacks. He was sitting right there on the open market. He was waived, he cleared waivers, and the Chicago Bears had a legitimate shot to bring him in for this playoff run. Imagine Judon lining up opposite Montez Sweat on Saturday night? Even at this stage in his career, the guy is a nightmare for offensive tackles. Instead, the Buffalo Bills swooped in. Reports confirmed today that the Bills hosted Judon and signed him to their practice squad to fuel their own playoff push. This is a massive missed opportunity. I know Judon had a quiet year in Miami. He was underutilized and didn't fit their scheme. But just last year in Atlanta, he had over 40 tackles and 5.5 sacks. He had a pick six. The man still has gas in the tank. He's a disruptor. He batted down passes, he sets the edge, and he brings a fear factor that Joe simply doesn't bring right now. I want to hear from you guys on this one because I'm torn. Do you trust Ryan Poles' decision to stick with our current group, or was passing on Matthew Judon a major mistake that could cost us in the playoffs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Alright, take a deep breath. Let the frustration regarding Judon go. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to make you feel a whole lot better about Saturday night. The injury report out of Green Bay isn't just bad, it is catastrophic. According to key insiders, the Packers are likely going to be without 3 of their most important starters. And these aren't just random guys, these are the pillars of their team. First and foremost, let's talk about their offensive line. Their star right tackle, Zach Tom, is dealing with a significant back and knee injury. Reports suggest he is almost certainly out. This is the game changer. Zach Tom has been their most consistent lineman. He's the guy who anchors that right side and keeps Jordan Love clean. If he isn't out there, they are likely throwing a backup into the fire, directly against Montez Sweat. Montez has to be licking his chops right now. This is a mismatch of epic proportions. If Zach Tom plays, he's going to be hobbled and slow. If he doesn't, it's fresh meat. Defensive coordinator Eric Washington needs to be aggressive. No more conservative rushes. Send the house. Stunt Montez inside. Loop him outside. Make that right side of the line a living hell for Jordan Love. If we can collapse the pocket from that side, their entire passing game breaks down. Second, and this is flying under the radar, is safety Evan Williams. He is dealing with a knee injury and is listed as doubtful. Do not underestimate this loss. Williams has been a tackling machine for them this season, over 90 total tackles. He is their fixer. He plays in the box, he covers tight ends, and he cleans up mistakes in the run game. Without him, the middle of their defense is soft. This is where Caleb Williams and our offensive coordinator need to be smart. Attack the seams. Get Cole Kmet involved early. Run the ball right up the gut with DeAndre Swift and Roscoe Johnson because their best run-stopping safety isn't there to fill the gap. This takes away one of their best chess pieces and forces them to play a more basic, predictable defense. And finally, the devastating blow for their offense. Josh Jacobs is doubtful. Jacobs has been the engine of their offense. Last time we played them, he gashed us for over 90 yards and a touchdown. He is physical, he wears defenses down, and he opens up the play-action pass. Without him, they become one-dimensional. Sure, they have backups, but nobody fears them like they fear Jacobs. If Jacobs doesn't play, we don't have to stack the box with 8 guys. We can keep our safeties deep, take away the big play, and force Jordan Love to beat us underneath. It changes the entire geometry of the game. So, what does all this mean for Saturday? It means the Bears have no excuse. We are catching our biggest rival at their absolute weakest moment. Defensively, the game plan is simple: attack the weakness. With Zach Tom out, we need to overload that right side. I want to see safety blitzes. I want to see linebacker stunts. We cannot let Jordan Love get comfortable. If we can generate pressure with just 4 guys because their tackle is a backup, it allows us to drop 7 into coverage and blanket their receivers. Offensively, we need to be ruthless. With Evan Williams out, the middle of the field is open. We need to pound the rock to set up the play action, and then let Caleb take his shots. This is not the time to be conservative. This is the time to put your foot on their throat and keep it there. We also need to talk about the Green Bay sucks factor. The crowd is going to be electric. I want to hear Soldier Field louder than it has ever been. We need to disrupt their communication. With a backup tackle and a backup running back, they are going to be prone to false starts and confusion. The 12th man needs to show up big time. I know we've been hurt before. I know we've seen backup quarterbacks and backup players come in and have career days against us. But this feels different. The Bears are playing for their playoff lives. A win here, combined with the Detroit loss, could vault us right into the postseason picture. We have the health advantage. We have the home field advantage. And frankly, we have the better roster right now. The Packers are held together by duct tape and hope. Ryan Poles might have missed on Judon, but he built a team that is deep enough to survive the season, while Green Bay is crumbling. This is the moment where the culture shifts. This is the moment where we stop talking about closing the gap, and we actually close it. Final thoughts: the Packers are limping into Soldier Field with their offensive line broken and their best playmakers sidelined, while we have the health advantage and the momentum. There are absolutely no more excuses. This is the moment we stop being the little brother and finally take control of the North. I want to see your score predictions in the comments right now, so let's manifest this W together. Smash that like button if you are ready for a dominant Bears victory. Bear down!